Now we can do another LSAT logic game. We're using prep test number 65 that was administered in December 2011. We're going to section 2, questions 6 through 11, because we're going to a crafts studio. As part of an open house at the crafts studio, 3 teachers, Jang, Kendro, and Lanning, are each teaching 6 consecutive presentations on 6 different subjects. Jang will present needlework and origami. Kay will present pottery, stenciling, and textile. And Lang will do woodworking. So the nerds are nice people. They gave us alphabetical order so we can keep track of who's doing what. Kay cannot give 2 presentations in a row. So we can just remind ourselves that there's something between P, S, and T. The presentation on stenciling must be given earlier than the one in origami, and stenciling is a K, and origami is a J, so we can keep track of who's doing what. The presentation of textile must be given earlier than the one on woodworking. So textile is another K, and woodworking is the only one that L does. So it looks like there's no conditions about N, and there's no conditions about P. We can call those floaters or free agents. Question 6. Which one of the following could be the order of the presentations from 1st to 6th? So what we're going to do is we're going to let the nerds teach us something about the game. We're going to go through each condition and then check the answers against it. Let's start with the easy ones to look for. The presentation on S must be given earlier than the one on O. And if we look down on D, we have O before S, so that won't work. And then the presentation on T must be given earlier than the one on W. And if we look at the answers, we discover that B has T last, so that can't be early. And then we go to this vaguer rule that K can't give 2 presentations in a row, and K has P, S, and T. If we look at answer A, we have T and P next to each other, so that won't work. We're down to C and E, and if we look at answer E, we have T and S next to each other, so that won't work. So answer C is our right answer. It has S, O, T, W, N, and P. Now it's good to keep track of who's doing this. There's a K here, there's a K here, there's a K here. L is doing W, and J is doing O and N. It's nice to see what a right answer looks like. S is in front of O, T is in front of W, and then our free agents are down at the end. Question 7. If T is making the presentation 5th, T is 5th, and it's a K. So we know that it has to be before W, so W is an L6, and that's being done by L. And then we look at what happens. K has to be separated, so now K has to be here. And we don't really know where those next things are going to be, so we stop, because we're in the world of could be, must be. Which of the following could be true? Well, N presented 6, no, we've already got W doing there. P presented 4, no, that's another K, and it can't be next to T. S presented 2nd, and it falls in our little hole. It's a K, and it's not in one of the places K should be. And then S is presented 3rd. That can work. We can put it in front of O, and then we can put P here, and we can put N here. J will do 2 and 4, so our answer is D. Then question 8. If needlework is presented first, well, N is done by J, and it's a floater, but look what happens. K has to be separated. K has to be in those three places, 2, 4, and 6. Now, S is a K and it's early. T is a K and it's early. Who's going to do that last space? The only K we can put there is P. And then T and S become equivalent. We stop because we're in the world of could be, must be. Which of the following could be true? Answer A, O is presented 6. That's not true. P is presented second. P's already here. S is presented third, but that's a K and it's in the middle. T is presented fifth, and that's another K, and it can't be next to P, which is a K in sixth. And so the answer is E. W could be third because it's in a hole. W would be after T, and S would be in front of O, and then we'd have L here, J here, and the K's would be separated. Now, see how the nerds teach us things about the game as we go through. J cannot give. Well, J doesn't have a real problem here, except it's after S. So it cannot give both the first and third presentation. Well, we could put N here, we could put O there, and that would be fine. Then what happens? Answer B, first and fourth. First is here, and then fourth is K from our old sketch. The nerds are nice people. They're teaching us things about the game, and that's why we go back and look at our old sketch and we discover answer B isn't possible given what we've already learned from question 8, so answer 9 is B. Question 10, if N is presented sixth, look what happens. If we put N in sixth, that's another J, and then we have to have our K's separated. Does this sound familiar? It's the same concept we just ran into, and now we realize that the late K has to be P, and then these could be T or S, so we leave it blank. Then which of the following must be true? Well, it's either going to be about P or N because that's all we know, and so B, P is presented fifth. All that other stuff is a could be. We don't have to tell nobody what's wrong about the could be's on a must be question. Question 11. Which of the following cannot be the subject of the second presentation? Boy, we've got a lot of things that were second here, don't we? We've got O, N, T. So it looks like we can get rid of O, which is answer B. We can get rid of N, which is answer A. We can get rid of D, which is answer T. And then P, our good friend P. Look what happens. If we put P second, that's a K, and then K has to be here, K has to be here, and S and T both have to be before somebody, so P can't be second because K would be in sixth, and it wouldn't be in front of anybody, and neither S or T could solve that spot. So our answer is C. Testing for the Public, nonprofit since 1985, nobody makes things easier.